So I have got a lot of content to go through in the next 30 and a bit minutes. So I'm going to walk you through what I call my winning Facebook formula. Predominantly how to get your videos seen, right? This whole summit is about videos. So we want to be able to, obviously, the work that you put into the videos, then get maximum reach and results. Get people to actually take action when they see your videos. So this is me really writing on the real Facebook wall. And actually, you know, it's funny because I was checking this screenshot, right? Some of this many, many years ago. And Facebook's still on the publisher, right? When you go to your Facebook page and it says, what does it say at the top? Who can tell me? Write something. That's what it says, right? I'm like, write something, even though Facebook's really, really aggressively pushing video right now, especially live. They're even doing ads for live on like buses and on television. Don't you think that they're going to at some point change that, right, to, you know, share a video? But it still says write something. But anyway, so I've been a passionate evangelist for Facebook since 2007. And as Jason mentioned, rightly so, last year the company actually hired me to go out on tour in the Boost Your Business series of events and talking to small businesses around the world and the country predominantly. I've spoken to hundreds and actually thousands of small business owners around the country in particular, and I teach and train all over the world, and I continuously hear so many challenges. Really, the bottom line is this: you all, whether you're business owners or you work for a business, you want to know how to get more customers, right? And as Sue rightly pointed out, it's actually the difference is social media has become so prevalent, it's not about selling. It's not, people don't go to Facebook in the morning, they don't wake up and look at their feed and go, wonder what Starbucks is saying this morning. You know, I think I'll tune in, you know, maybe some people do, raving fans. But it's about building that relationship, that know, like, trust factor, getting to know you, sharing yourself to the degree that you're comfortable. And so some of those issues and challenges I'm going to weave into my presentation today and in this formula. So our good friends over at Buffer, many of you heard of Buffer? Yes. Yeah, you use Buffer, right? It's a great tool to schedule posts, among other things. I use Hootsuite as well, both great companies. Buffer, just recently, actually Animoto wrote about it on their blog as well earlier this year when they did a study. And Buffer studied 100,000 brands and 16 million posts, Facebook posts. And this is what they found: videos, videos, videos. Whoopsies, back up. Come on. Hey, it's jumping around. You be nice. There. 3 times, video gets 3 times the engagement level as links and 2 times the engagement as photos. And yeah, watch this, my friends. Video wins, absolutely. And Buffer found in this study that video is actually largely underutilized because of those 60 million posts, 100,000 businesses they studied, even though a video gets 3 times engagement, 7 posts, so that's average, obviously, 1 a day that brands are posting. Watch this. 80% of them are links. 80%. 90% are photos, less than 1% are videos. So watch this chart. I love this. I love this wee diagram because this big blue mass is like, that's everybody's linked, and then these greens are the photos, and this little blue wedge, yellow, that is your window of opportunity. That is your opening to create video content and get seen in the newsfeed because Facebook is favoring video by all other post types. It's getting the best organic and paid reach as well as live in particular, as we're doing this live event today. And so you might look at that and go, oh my gosh, you know, that's, you know, the brands are kind of behind or whatever. But what I'm saying is you want to be a forward-thinking business, then make sure that you do emphasize video because as our friends at Buffer say, it's underutilized, so let's dive in and make more video. What I'm going to share with you is my 4 steps. Obviously, embracing Facebook Live, what we're doing here today. How many of you use Facebook Live? Oh, cool. Excellent. Okay, good. About half, I would say. Not enough of you. It needs to be 100%. But the beautiful thing is, if you're not comfortable going on camera, okay, some folks just aren't, or you just think, you know, you have a face for radio, then that's okay. That's all right. You don't have to go on camera, right? The beautiful thing about what Animoto offers is you can take, obviously, photographs and other video clips, and you can instantly make really professional videos, and then native means that you're uploading them directly, okay? I'm going to share a bit more about that in a couple other slides. Now then, organic reach on Facebook, which basically means free, right? When you post a piece of content, organic means it's going out in the news feed without any budget behind it. Back in 2012, before Facebook went public, you could get, I mean, gosh, do you remember the days? Sometimes we could get more than 100% reach, right? That was awesome. And then as Facebook's kind of like, you know, I don't know, my friend Jay Bear actually did this kind of mashup of a graph. As Facebook's stock was going up, the reach was going down. Because, I mean, you can kind of see things from both points. I can anyway, that, you know, obviously, I always said that the Facebook ads is the most targeted traffic that your money can buy. Incredibly granular. You can get your content in front of the exact demographic of person that you're looking to reach, down to zip code, down to age, down to likelihood of purchasing your product, likelihood to, you know, engage with your content. So we're going to talk about amplifying your reach with the ads, and then this process I'm going to walk you through as I call my Mari method, step by step. Okie dokie? So here we go. Come on, I'll press you and you go forward. There it goes. First off, live. This is what we're doing here today. Facebook Live. Facebook is really doing a big push. I saw this on the marketing land the other day. I had to screenshot it. And this is like a big ass bus. And so Facebook's set to launch international ad campaign for Facebook Live. Two-phase campaign in the US and UK starting this weekend. That was, I think that was last week. And I've also heard that they're doing some television ads. And you might have heard that they had allocated something like $50 million to pay celebrities to use Facebook Live. Who's the comedian? Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. I saw him doing two-person Facebook Live. You can actually do two-person Facebook Live right from your phone. It's a feature that's coming. It's only available to select celebrities, and I saw Kevin Hart doing that. I happen to know he's one of the ones that's getting paid. So it's really interesting. I've been saying for a while that Facebook is like the next generation television. This is exactly what Animoto is doing here today. Look at this beautiful production, and they set everything all up, and we have our studio audience here. How exciting is this? It's really, really awesome. Well, look at Zuck. I mean, you could just do live and hanging out, grilling with Zuck. This was just a couple weeks ago, right? And I love what Zuck does. It's always very strategic. It looks like it's just kind of, oh, he just popped his camera on, right? But he's talking about this was like a half hour before the presidential debate, and he was mentioning it, and I heard him mention a few brands or businesses. Of course, you know, 20,000 shares and 10 million views. Who wouldn't mind that kind of, you know, visibility? So, but it's just natural, you know. I saw everybody's asking him about how do you smoke meat, and he's talking about that. And of course, people were talking about being vegetarians, and you name it. But Zuck actually uses his personal profile a lot to do live, right? You'll see him do the town hall Q&As from all over the world. Now then, an example for myself. Just the other week, one of my top clients is a startup in the beauty industry. Actually, one of the reasons I was over in London was we were just doing their live launch. And then I'm off to Louisville, as Jason rightly said, Kentucky on this weekend. We got the UK launch, or the US, I mean. Now then, this is really nifty because it is multi-person Facebook Live. And it's an app, I'll talk to you more about that in coming slides, but it's an app called, actually you can see right there, there's a little watermark. So Blue Jeans is one of the leading video conferencing apps, and then they've just recently added a Facebook Live element. So you can actually have apparently up to 100 simultaneous Facebook Lives, but only 9 at a time will be displayed on the screen, because obviously they'd be awful teeny wee thumbnails, right? So, also, this page at the time, it's pronounced Mayel, they had about 3,500, 4,000 fans, and we've got, you know, 25,000 reach. They have a lot more. We promoted this. But that line, this is what I want you to get familiar with, because this is part of the Mari method, where you see 24,000 organic reach, and then 1,800 paid. There's a methodology to that. There's a methodology where you take your budget and you allocate it in portions. So that's what I'm going to walk you through. Very, very exciting launch that we did for them with the live. So what this company actually, when they were in pre-launch, was way back in April, and they hired me to be their social media strategist and their trainers, actually in direct sales, if you're familiar with that model, so they have distributors. And they were not ready to launch, so my team and I said, well, why don't we create you what's called a passion page? And a passion page is a really, really cool approach to your Facebook marketing, depending on the business that you have. So you could, in this instance, that's actually the avatar of that beautiful eye. There's an avatar for the passion page called All Things Gorgeous. So instead of it being like a corporate page that talks about the products and whatnot, what a corporate page usually does, we create this page called All Things Gorgeous, got them 150,000 fans in 5 months. Some of their posts using that Mari method I'm going to explain to you got as much as 2 million reach. Pretty exciting. Then come October, when we just did that multi-person Facebook Live launch for them, their goal was to have 1,000 distributors. And because of the approach that we took them through and built them this passion page and used this live and everything, we actually helped them to 5x their goal of 5,000 distributors. And they literally only just launched and started shipping the product. Very, very exciting what you can do when you layer strategies, okay? So it's really important to learn and find out what works for you and experiment. It's awesome that you're all here today learning. Let's look at some Facebook Live tips. So most people are probably going to broadcast on mobile. It's really what it's meant to be. By the way, did you know of the 1.7 billion active Facebook users, some 90% access using mobile only? In fact, a stat I saw somewhere was some 40% of Facebook users have never accessed on desktop, mobile only, right? So we have to think, man, those are probably mostly kind of outside the US, you know, in other countries, developing countries, where they only have a mobile device. They don't have computers necessarily, or they're just a mobile culture. And so when we're crafting our content, it's really important to think about that. What does it look like on mobile, okay? So, equipment. Now, of course, you can just grab your phone and off you go, and Vanessa was just giving you some lighting tips. For me personally, and I had this planted here earlier, I'm going to show you my little setup. So I use, I think I have it on here. Yeah, this is a company called Iographer. Shout out to them. This nifty little case, you see my iPhone 6 Plus just fits in there. And this is a tripod that screws in this end, so I can use it as a tripod or a selfie stick. It can go this way or this way. And this magic thing is what's called a diva light, right? It's a 3-setting diva light. How cool is that, right? A diva selfie light, right? So I can click this on here, and then most important is audio. People will forgive a shaky, wobbly video, but they won't forgive bad audio. If it's sore in the ears, especially if they're listening in earbuds, you want to have a mic. This is really simple, just a little lavalier mic. It's also by Iographer. Oops, it went off. And I just get this whole thing as a package, not that expensive at all. And then you have a nice steady hand. This clips on, and away you go. And this puts a nice little light in your eye. All right, so that's a nifty little setup there. Just set it back down there. And it really does make a difference. So it went off there. Okay, great. So, and there's other things out there too, but that's just one I happen to use, and it just makes it that bit more, you know, professional, if you will. Desktop, what we're doing here today actually is using an app called Wirecast. And I love Wirecast. It allows you to actually switch between screens, and they've got a lot of different cameras here, and they can go from just the slides to the, you know, you guys are getting in the shots too. It's really kind of cool. You'll be able to see it after. You all have to tag yourself after, right? Unless you already have. I got those apps. I've got this in the next slide coming up. So you really want to prepare. You set your date and your time. Brand new feature coming out is you'll be able to announce your live events in advance and build up an audience so that you've actually said, I'm going live on this date and this time. It's different from the Facebook event. It's actually an announcement of a live. That's pretty cool. That's coming. Think about, what is my strategic purpose? What is the one outcome that I want to have happen? What is the call to action? Am I just chatting to my peeps here, or do I want them to click on this link? Am I wanting them to take a specific action? And then you just go for it. Really, honestly, guess what? You know what you can do? Sometimes you're really kind of nervous and you're not sure. And then maybe some of you here might have clients that you know, that you work in the social media industry or something, and that you can go live, publish to your personal profile set to only me. Sometimes I do that when I'm just practicing like Wirecast or Blue Jeans. I'll be like, okay, let me just make sure everything's working, the lighting, everything. I'll just go to only me, and then oh yeah, it looks good. Okay, now I'll go live. All right, so here's those tools I was mentioning. That's the Blue Jeans Prime Time, and I'm pretty sure you can still get a free trial with them. Really, really cool app. And then Wirecast or OBS, Open Broadcast Software, is a free. You can use that to broadcast through desktop. Actually, I've heard that Facebook's bringing Facebook Live to desktop. I think you can do it on Windows if you have the Windows 10 app. That's kind of cool. This one has really taken off, Be Live TV. It looks like Believe, but it's BeLive.tv. And that's really, I see a lot of my colleagues in the live streaming field. Anyone tried it? No? Okay, good. Oh, it's so new, so new. Have a look at that one. It's really pretty exciting. A few others, I know my friends at Social Media Examiner, they use Huzzah or Huzzah, however you say it, and that broadcasts through. And then, as I say, multi-person is coming with the, is already available with the blue jeans, so pretty exciting. Okay, so come on, clicker. Next, let's talk about native video. And just to clarify and clear up, sometimes people are like, what exactly does it mean? It's kind of a strange word. It's not unique to Facebook. All it means is you've uploaded the video directly to Facebook, okay, and a mobile or desktop, right? So that you definitely get better reach. Now, people have said to me before, oh, Amari, is it true? Like when I put the word YouTube or Pinterest or Snapchat in a Facebook update, do I get like lower reach? And I'm like, well, you know, hang on, let me just call Zuck and find out. But seriously, I do think that could be, it's not that it gives, let me say it this way. It doesn't get lower reach, it just doesn't get priority. It doesn't get, you know what I mean? It's maybe part of the algorithm. Now then, for the longest time, I've been saying to people, since Facebook's favored video, I'll be like, don't post YouTube links, and because you just won't get the reach. Now then, as of a few days ago, I'm going to correct myself, and I'm going to add to what I'm going to say. There are exceptions when you're an amazing a cappella band called Pentatonics. Has anyone heard of them? Isn't they amazing? They're so great. I just love it. I was studying like crazy what these guys were doing. Now, obviously, they must have some kind of an agreement either with YouTube or probably with YouTube, right? Because they did not upload it natively. And here they are. Last I looked at 13 million views on YouTube, 21,000 shares there, probably even more now. And you know, they're giving you different ways you can download it. And I thought, well, look at that. Okay, who knows? If they had agreements with the publisher or whatever to load it both places, my educated guess, they would have a lot more views on Facebook. But guess why? Facebook counts a view as 3 seconds. YouTube counts as 30 seconds. So you have to watch a lot more on YouTube. And I know Facebook's kind of had a little, you know, iffiness around their views and how they count it and whatnot. But my recommendation, from, like I say, some exceptions if you happen to be a band or something like that, my recommendation is that you do both. You're not necessarily exactly the same time, but you can take your video content and you'll put it on Facebook and you'll put it on YouTube. All right? So let's look at an example here. This was where I actually like to say that when you're a specialist, you're going an inch wide and a mile deep. You're a specialist. You specialize. What are you the go-to expert for? I always say fill in the blank. If I was going to go and look at your Facebook page, would it be obvious to me what exactly you do, what business you're in? Well, I like to say that everybody here, no matter what your business, no matter what your industry, you're in the business of education. Education. You're helping your audience learn and understand, giving them valuable tools and tips and helpful. Like this is a whole educational event that Animoto is doing today, which is fabulous. Now then, when Facebook brought out, I'm going to show you this video in a second here. This was back in June. They're always tweaking the algorithm, right? And they said that posts by friends and family were going to get more priority. It's the first time I ever saw in one of their blog posts where they said, oh, will this affect my fan page? Because they always ask that. And the first time I saw them say, yes, this will affect your fan page, reach, and click-throughs. And so referral traffic. So I'm like, okay, everybody was sharing this link post like crazy. Like all my friends in the industry sharing this link post, this blog post. And I'm like, how can I be this helpful special? How can I be the voice of reason? How can I add value? How can I help people? Well, your reach is going down over here, but here's some tips on what you can do to circumvent that challenge. So here's the video. Ladies Animoto, of course. Little music track. Number 2, develop a live. Maybe it's live. So let's analyze what worked on that post. And as I say, made with Animoto, really had a lot of fun making that, and the new marketing video builder that everybody has access to now, super easy to use. And there's that magic kind of 1/3, 2/3, or 2/3 organic and 1/3 paid, which I'm going to go to in a minute here. So compelling content, I always say it's got to be highly shareable, relevant, educational, timely if possible, using my Mari method with the boosting. And we got over 200,000 reach, almost 50,000 video views, I think it has a bit more now, 450 shares, and then like I say, there's your split. And the nice thing about Facebook Live, when you go live and or you do a native video, you can get some decent organic reach, which I'll show you in a moment in our remaining time here. So, and I think I have another example here, come on. Yeah, beautiful example here. So this is another Animoto video. So again, the nice thing about the tool, you're going to use existing photos and video clips. And what I say is one of the things you want to do, remember I said 90% of those almost 2 billion users are on mobile. Facebook actually calls it thumb stopping. So they're going to scroll, scroll, scroll. Woo, what's that? Must share. So thinking about it like that it's really grabs people's attention, they want to share, it's highly shareable. And in this example, West Virginia skydivers, it's an easy one to tag friends. Oh, hey, remember you always wanted to do that tandem, that skydive, and they could tag people in the results. So let's look at the video.
Go jump!
Woo!
Go jump!
Great, isn't that fun? It was super simple and easy to put together. I must confess, in my early 20s, I actually jumped out of a perfectly good airplane about 6 times. It just feels like you just got a sack of laundry on, right? The very first time I ever did it, every expletive I've ever known in my life came flying out. They could hear me on the ground, apparently. So it was scary. And that was what they call static line. You have the line that's clipped in. You're jumping out by yourself. It's about 2,000 or 3,000 feet. And you just leap, and then you hope that that tug's going to save your life. And well, obviously it did. But tandem's a lot of fun. Okay, look at this. Is really, really cool how they did this. So before they did the video ad, they're getting about, this is average weekly, 20 calls a week, 6 bookings a week, 205 visits to their website, about 12% from Facebook. Let's look at after. 94 calls, 79 from Facebook. 49 bookings, up from 6. Not too bad, eh? Website visits, 1,200, 42 from Facebook. Watch this. So 5x their calls, 6x their website visits, 8x bookings. If you calculate about $220 per booking, that's over $10,000 in revenue. Now watch this. What they spent in boosting it and ad money, a mere $115. Not too bad, right? Pretty easy. So $115 and yielded about 10 grand in revenue. Actual real calls and bookings. Really beautiful because they made a wonderful, highly shareable video. So let's talk about this ad section, and then we'll get to the Mari method, as I call it. Now, this actually, I'm just going to put all these up here. Mary Meeker, she does these every year, internet trends, amazing person to follow, super in-depth if you are familiar with her content. What Mary pointed out this year in her trends is 81% of users are actually muting video ads. That's why there's a reason why Facebook has autoplay with sound off, but rumor has I hear they're testing autoplay with sound on, which I'm really not for, right? We'll see. They're doing some tests. And as Mary points out, many online ads are ineffective, especially video. So let's look at what makes some good video. And I know some of it, Vanessa and Sue pointed these out as well. Remember I said a view counts for 3 seconds? So you got to get that 3 seconds to hook people in and for them to want to keep going. So quality from the first frame. High energy, entertaining if you can be. Maybe there's someone on your team or a friend or a colleague that has a particular personality that would lend itself well to being on camera, that kind of thing. Evoking emotion, we saw there with Sue's beautiful photo montages. Relatable, useful, and designed for sound off, which is the beauty of having a video tool that adds text, like the new video builder. You can go ahead and add a captions file after the fact. Actually, I'm backed up for a second. Hey, come on. And read the whole thing. Okay, so a captions file, you can load that up after. You can even get your Facebook Lives transcribed and upload a captions file. It's where literally the little black text comes across. I threw this in as an example. If you haven't seen it yet, have a look at Chatbooks. Truly, one of the best video ads that I have seen out there. It was like over 3 minutes long, I think 3:40. And I saw it, not even through an ad. I saw it because a friend of mine shared it. And it was hilarious. It had me watching the whole thing. You see 6 million views. I think it's up to 10 million views. Who would want 10 million views on an ad, right? Really cleverly done. It's humorous. It's really well done. And I'm like, I was so ready to sign up for this thing. Then I remembered I forgot to have kids. Because the whole thing is about making books of your kids. Really nicely done. Oh, this always comes up. So we wanted to drop a slide in about this. Do I boost it or do I use my ads manager? You want to boost your video posts and any post, but ideally videos. Remember, they get 3 times the reach and engagement. When it's like quick and convenient, ideally, now this is a bit more advanced, but I'm going to plan it on the table here, and then just, we can go in depth more about this in another time. But when you use the boost button, I want to recommend that you use it with saved audiences. So you've already gone into your ads manager and you have what's called saved audiences. They're exactly the kind of people you want to reach. Otherwise, if you're just randomly hitting the boost button and you're going to go, oh, I'm going to go to all my fans and my friends of fans, that's not necessarily your exact target market. Okay, and then you want to ideally really use the ads manager and select video views as your objective when you're promoting your videos. You can segment the audiences and then you can split test. I always do, like, let's say I'm promoting a video, I'll do one set to the UK, one to Australia, New Zealand, one to US and Canada. I might test male and then female. I might test a different subject line. I might do 12 different variations of one ad, even the video. And you can use the same video that you've already just posted on your wall. You can't do that with the boost button, but you can with the ads manager. You can go in and make all kinds of variations. I also want to highly recommend, if you haven't already, you want to download this app. This is a mobile app for managing your Facebook ads, just called Facebook Ads. And then for sure, for all the page admins, you definitely want the Pages Manager app and not trying to manage your page with the native app, okay? A couple more and we'll get into this part here. Yay, Mari method. Here's how it works. You start by building organic traction. It can be very tempting. I know I've come across a lot of people where they're like, oh, we just boost every post. Some of my clients are just like, we just boost every post. Well, guess what? Guess what? If people are looking through their newsfeed, that means every piece of content that they see in their feed, it has a little sponsored label on it. They never see organic, because if you're boosting every post, right? So I like to get at least some organic traction. And then what you do with this method is your reach will go further, both organic and paid. Because with the Zuck dollars, as we call them there. So here's how it works. First, remember I said the word thumb stopping. Think about how can I educate my audience with really helpful, valuable content that will make them look good when they share it. They'll look good in front of their audience. And they want to hit that share button. Minimize your ask at first. Minimize like saying, oh, click here and sign up and whatever all those things are. Just highly shareable content. And you want to leave it for maybe somewhere between 1 and 24 hours to get organic reach. And depends, it totally depends. Like I said, some people, they post and they hit boost now, oh, and wait to see what happens. That's okay if you want to do that, but this is proven to be much more effective. Engage with people that are sharing it or commenting. Some strategic promotion, so you want to boost some posts, not every post. And then what happens, the Mari method is like, so this part here, great content, organic reach. Now let's say that you have a $100 Facebook ad budget. You don't just throw the whole $100 on. Let's say you even just do it in 2 portions. You do 50, let it ride, see how it goes, and that boosts up your organic reach, and then you do the other 50 maybe the next day, maybe 2 days later. If you've got a $1,000 Facebook ad budget, break it up into 4 of 250, something like that. And then you intersperse, as you're getting that wave of expanded reach, both organic and paid, now you can pop in posts asking for the call to action, asking people to sign up and things like that. As I said earlier, the key is you absolutely want to be having what I call thumb-stopping content for maximum shares, that people see it in their feed and go, OMG, I must share this now. And, I had this slide in here too. We're doing okay in a few more minutes here. I actually have a lot more organic reach tips, but I distilled them down into the most critical ones for you here today. Obviously, we're talking all about video. It's a video summit. More video will definitely get you. Remember that little yellow sliver? We want to get into there and expand it out and get more video. Test outside business hours. This is a little known secret, if you will. People think, oh, I'm in business, I'm on 9 to 5, I'll post 9 to 5. People go on Facebook for personal reasons first, evenings and weekends. Don't be afraid to try outside of business hours. You can always schedule. This is counterintuitive as well. You want to post less often. As reach has gone down and down, the organic reach, I've seen so many people, well, why just try? I'm posting 10 times a day now. I'm posting 20 times a day, Mari, and people are still not seeing my stuff. Well, yeah, well, you're actually having the opposite effect of what you're trying to do here. Let's scale it back. Let's try one a day for starters, right? Definitely okay to repost popular posts, right? It's the same as Twitter. And then you can drive traffic from other sources. That little permalink, the little timestamp on every single Facebook post, it can then be shortened using a bit.ly link. You can tweet it, put in a newsletter, share on LinkedIn, share on any other social channel, and invite people to come over and join the conversation. What I usually say, join the conversation. Don't forget to embed posts, especially video posts. It's exactly the same as YouTube. You can embed the actual post or the full video on your blog post and get more reach and visibility that way. So the application formula, as I mentioned earlier, allocating the budget in pieces, in segments. Whatever budget is, you break it up, test it out, and you're working with the algorithm. As my partner Christopher says, it's increasing the horsepower, right? Whereas if you just go throw the boost button and put your whole budget on, you might not be getting quite as much reach without doing what we're talking about here. Another way to think about it is you're kind of stepping on the gas pedal and then you're letting it go, and then you ease back a bit, and then you put more budget in. All right? Lastly, we wanted to throw this one in here because it does come up a lot. It's about the Facebook Pixel, the magic Facebook Pixel. How many people heard of the Facebook Pixel? Okay, and use it, and actually have it used? Okay, good. All right, good. Now, a few of you don't, and I know in our live audience out there, folks, guess what? Our friends over at Mixpo have found that 90% even of Fortune 500 companies are not doing Facebook ads right. They're missing this piece here with the Facebook Pixel. It's a really critical part. It can be tricky to understand, though, so it's basically an education part, if you will, and Facebook is really upping their education offerings. They've got webinars and free trainings, and they've got certifications, and got their blueprint, it's called. And so what the Pixel does, it's a piece of code that you place on your website or your blog, and it allows tracking website visitors. They introduced a new component recently that you can actually track for time on site, because obviously someone who's on your site for 5 seconds versus a few minutes, someone who's on there for a few minutes is a much hotter prospect, if you will. So then you can do what are called custom audiences, and you can say to Facebook, place this piece of content in the newsfeed in front of people that spend a minute or more on my website. It's called retargeting, right? If you've ever been to a website and you went to purchase something, and then that very thing you went to purchase, or just look at, right? I can tell by some smiles and nods, it starts stalking you around Facebook, right? And tell you, okay, I'll buy the shoes. Not like I needed much persuasion, you know, but. Okay, so, and then you place your retargeted ads, and actually, one more thing on that is that there's a fairly new custom audience called engagement custom audiences. You can retarget people. This is not to do with the Pixel. This is actually just on Facebook. It's called engagement custom audiences, and you can retarget people who have viewed certain amounts of your video. All right, so if you have like a 2-minute video, you could target people that watched a minute or more with a different piece of video content, right? And you're just building up that engagement factor, know, like, trust. Maximize your ad results. As you can see this, as I mentioned, our friends at Mixpo, when you use the Pixel, you get higher conversion and lower cost. So I really, really encourage you with the video, live, the amplified content, the Mari method, the Pixel, you definitely will get more of your videos seen. And we are right on perfect time to finish. And I just want to tell you, our wonderful audience here, and our great folks out there in the great Facebook land universe,